Hey guys, welcome to Jazz Piano Daily. This is lesson number 106, and today we are going to go through a rootless chord review. So the past 3 lessons, we've done that walking bass line, which I just played. We have talked about rootless chords way back in the beginning of the course, but let's just go through and review the rootless chords for this B-flat blues right now. All right, let's shift over to the sheet music. So this first chord, B-flat 7. So how do we form these dominant 7th rootless chords? Again, this is just a review, so if you want to really more of a deep dive, go back into the beginning lessons. I talked about the dominant chords in Jazz Piano Daily number 3. I talked about the minor chords in Jazz Piano Daily number 2, and number 1 was the major chords. So we started with those jazz chords right from the beginning of the course. Anyway, all right, so the B-flat 7, to form the dominant 7th rootless chord voicing, start with your guide tones first. And again, if you need more help on this, go back to those other lessons. The guide tones are the 3rd and the 7th of the chord. Typically what you're going to end up doing is you're going to be playing thumb and middle finger on those guide tones, okay? If I did it the other way, it would still be thumb and middle finger. This is with the right hand. Obviously with the left hand, it's going to be different fingering, all right? So thumb and middle finger, and then in between the guide tones, I'm going to add a note. So in this case, I'm going to add either the 9th or the 13th on my dominant chords, okay? So the dominant 7th rootless chord voicing has the guide tones. That's the 3rd and the 7th, and it also has the 9th and the 13th added. So those are the 4 chord tones that you need for a jazz dominant 7th chord. It's the 7th, the 3rd, the 9th, and the 13th. Now, of course, there's different orders of this, but those are the 4 ingredients that you need. Now, the 13th, just as you know, if you don't know, it's the same thing as the 6th, all right? Why do we call it the 13th, the 9th? I'm not diving into that right now. It's because they're not chord tones, they're tensions. They're being added on. They're not replacing chord tones, they're tensions. That's why we call it 9 and 13. All right, so anyway, yeah, here we go. All right, so you have your 7th and you have your 3rd, right? So thumb and middle finger. Now, I said I'm going to add in the 9 and the 13. Well, I'm going to put something in between here. Well, what do I have room for? The 13th is right here. Well, that's not in between, right? What's in between this 7th and the 3rd? The 9th is, okay? And then up here, this is where I'll add in my 13. So that's my B-flat 7 dominant 7th chord. Now, when I move to E-flat 7, I could do the same thing. I could come up and go 3rd and 7th, 7 and 3, 9 and 13, right? But why would I lift up like this, right? It doesn't make sense. So instead, what I do is I go to the 3rd and the 7th for the E-flat 7. I'll put an E-flat down there. So I have the 3rd and the 7th. Well, again, I need the 9 and the 13, right? So something is going to go in between the guide tones and something is going to go above, right? That's the way it always goes. Something goes in between, something goes above. All right, so in between, for an E-flat 7, can I put the 9 in there? Well, the 9 is F. Well, that's not in between. So what's in between? What about the 13th? And I put the 9 up here. Okay? So E-flat 7. So you see how much easier it is to go from B-flat to E-flat, B-flat to E-flat. Make sure you're grabbing at those chords, not just pushing down. Okay? Now the next chord is F minor 7. To form a minor 7, you start again with your guide tones, 3 and 7, or 7 and 3. In this case, I'm going to do 3rd and 7th, because it's going to work perfectly right from here, from the B-flat. So I have 3rd and 7th. Something's going to go in between, something's going to go above. Now on the minor chords, we need the 3rd, the 7th, the 5th, and the 9th. Okay? Now the 5th doesn't add a lot to the chord, but we typically use that on our minor chords. There's other voicings that we could do in which we add in the 11th, replace the 5th with the 11th, and all stuff like that. But let's just stick with our traditional, simple, rootless chord voicings. All right, so I have my 3rd and my 7th. Well, what can go in between? The 9 or the 5? Well, the 5 works, and the 9 up here. There's F minor 7. When I go to B-flat 7, all I'm doing is just moving that note down to B-flat 7, and then going back to E-flat 7. Okay? So that's the explanation of how it all kind of goes together. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to play them for you. All right, so B-flat 7, E-flat 7, B-flat 7, F minor 7, B-flat 7, then E-flat 7, E flat 7. All right, and then B flat 7, and I'm going to come down to G7. Right? I could also go up here if I wanted to, but I kind of like coming down here, get a little bit more meat of the piano, right? And then C minor, coming down here. Again, I could have gone from G to C up there, right? But instead I'm going to come down here, C minor. Let me move the music here for you. C minor, F7, and then back up to B flat 7, G7, C minor, F. Okay, so let's do the whole thing again. I'm going to play the bass line. Now, if you're taking a look at the sheet music here, remember that, see how it says 8VB here? This means you play the entire bass line down an octave. It's written where it is because it makes it a little bit easier for you to read it. All right, so let me play it for you. B flat 7. Actually, I'll just make this a little bit smaller so you can see it. Okay, there we go. All right, so B flat 7. E flat 7, B flat 7, F minor, B flat, E flat 7, E flat 7, B flat 7, G7, C minor, F, B flat, G, C, F, B flat. You could also go B flat, G, C, F. Back to B flat. So the last two measures would be B flat, G, C minor, F, B flat. Or what's written is B flat, G, C, F. And back up to B flat. Okay, so you get to decide which of those you want to do for the last measure. All right, so what you want to make sure that you do is you want to make sure that you really practice the 3 bassline lessons before today's lesson, and then also focus on those rootless chords for today's lesson. Try putting them together along with that bass line, right? Remember, as a Jazz Piano Daily member, you can download all the sheet music. It's all written out. It's all right there for you. Or if you're just watching on YouTube, you can kind of piece it together and figure it out on your own. But if you're looking for that real step-by-step program, it's right here. It's Jazz Piano Daily. So if you want to sign up and get access to everything, check out jazzpianodaily.com. All right, guys, I'll see you in tomorrow's lesson. To get the first 45 pages of music for free, just go back to jazzpianodaily.com. If you liked the video, please be sure to click the like button and also subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. To watch the rest of the lessons in this series, just click on the playlist to the right of this arrow. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.